दो और मेरी जैकेट अच्छा.
Yes, you guys are matching. But welcome to 5 at 5. Last night, India met South Africa in an ODI match. And while India lost the game by a margin of 4 wickets, the question here is, while you can, blame the bowlers and say that the fielders were not at their best on the field, but the question here is the fact that having the ball change 3 to 4 times in the span of 50 overs is unusual and also not fair on the bowlers. And the question we're asking tonight is, should ODI games go back to being day games to counter the due factor that is coming in, especially at this time of the year? Joining me for this conversation is Debashish, Shomik, Rohit Juglan, and Shubhayan. Starting with you, Shubhayan, where do you stand on this matter?
Gargi, see, it's a simple thing. It's a simple scenario of whether the state associations are, are on the same page to improve their infrastructure, improve the equipments that are used before the match. Uh, there are only two associations, state associations, who has that anti-dew spray machine. That is called Toro Super Pro 1750. That is the name of that machine. I think Vidarbha State Cricket Association has that, and I think the Rajkot Stadium or the indoor stadium. I'm not sure either of two. They have it.
Baroda,
So
Shubhan,
what?
Baroda.
Baroda,
Baroda.
Baroda. So
Baroda.
Nagpur and Baroda are the two venues who has that machine Toro Super Pro 1750, which is used 6 hours before a match day, and around 1750 gallons of spray is sprayed around the entire outfield, and which helps the ground to not attract any sort of dew for 6 days. Uh, and Guwahati has one, Wankhede also has one, but those are manual spraying machines, and that takes way longer, and the time effective time span is also very less. It's 1 day or 2 day like that. So and plus it requires multiple personnel to use that. So it's all about state associations, whether they are wanting to improve their infrastructure equipment wise. Toro Super Pro 1750 cost you around 40-45 lakhs, which I feel is a very nominal sum for international stadiums. Uh, and now it depends. See, the cricketing season in India is basically in the winter season, post October, post September, and that is where the dew takes a heavy effect. And whether the state associations are hosting regular matches or not, that's a separate thing. But there has to be some sort of agreement between the state associations as well. For example, if a cricket association of Bengal has it, and we know the schedule is announced in advance, so they can bring the machine to that stadium. For example, if a Ranchi is hosting a match, CAB has that. So have an arrangement between the two associations. Or if Cuttack is hosting a match or Guwahati is hosting a match, then they can have an agreement with CAB that we will be using your equipments as well. And they can import that, they can transport that machine 2-3 months in advance, if need be. So there has to be some sort of agreement, because dew, with such heavy dew coming into effect, it's just it becomes mostly 80% of the match is won by the virtue of toss. So yes, India won the Ranchi ODI, but we all know that that game could have also gone in South Africa's way, had that not those 2 wickets of Britske and Marco Jansen in Kuldeep Yadav's over, had they not come. So dew makes, especially in this part of the world, dew makes a very stark difference between the two teams, especially those who are batting second. It becomes very tough for the bowlers as well. See, day games we can debate or not, but again, state associations can also improve their equipment and infrastructure also. That's my take.
Shomik, where do you stand on this? Do you think, especially when you're playing games in this part of the year, winter when it's, and you were there in Raipur, so you can tell us better what the conditions were like and whether or not India should shift to having ODI games in the morning.
See, first of all, the thing is that shifting the ODI games in the morning sounds good on paper. It's not happening the broadcasters will not let that happen because they miss out on the prime time. It's not about where, I mean, how the bowlers are the way the bowlers are encountering the conditions or whatever it is. It's the bowlers don't take decisions. Broadcasters and commercial partners take decisions. Now, when you earlier the day-night matches, 50-over day-night matches in India used to start at 2 p.m. So a few years back, it was advanced to 1:30 p.m. And even then, the broadcasters were a little reluctant because still with a 1:30 p.m. start, they are getting prime time, and prime time rates are completely different. Because if you see yesterday's game, Raipur, the climax was around 9:30. Right. So when South Africa needed those 28 runs of 30 balls, and they had basically 3 wickets in hand with Tony Zorzi jarring his hamstring, and also Nandre Barger he wouldn't have come out to bat. He also injured his hamstring. So from that point of view, that is the prime time, and they pay BCCI or any cricket body in millions. So this is not happening for the first time. Day night game came to India uh, in 1992-93 during the Hero Cup. Hero Cup was the first when the day night game came, and that was in November. And for the last 30 years, it has been happening like that. So we all know that the due factor would be there. We all know we have to counter that, but that commercial aspect of the game is way too important to advance it to an 11 a.m. start. That is not happening. And Shubhan mentioned about this machine. There is a talk about the associations who would be hosting the World T20 World Cup matches. The association, they should have it. This is something even the curators are saying. I have spoken to a couple of curators, and they are saying, without obviously on condition of anonymity, they are saying that this machine should be the hosting associations for the T20 World Cup should have that machine. Interestingly, Raipur yesterday had that machine. They hired it from Nagpur, and the machine started working at 11 a.m. But still, it happened. So um, it is also the amount of due. It is also the amount of due, stuff like that. So you have to live with it. Simple. You cannot from 1:30 a.m. 1:30 p.m. I don't see the start time changing in India.
रोहित, आपका क्या मानना है इस डिबेट को लेके? डू यू थिंक बीसीसीआई विल टेक एनी चेंजेस एट दिस पॉइंट और नो? म्यूट म्यूट
सॉरी, कर सकते हैं कुछ चेंजेस बिल्कुल, जैसा आपने कहा, लेकिन शौमिकदा ने जो बात कही वो तो एग्जैक्टली मतलब 100% श्योरिटी के साथ है कि ब्रॉडकास्टर्स ऑलरेडी, जैसे उन्होंने 2011 का एग्जांपल दिया, 2:30 बजे, उससे पहले आप अगर आप देखोगे, एटलीस्ट मुझे अपने बचपन के टाइम पे याद है कि 3 बजे भी मैचेस स्टार्ट होते थे, और वो फिर एक प्रॉपर टाइम मिलता था प्राइम टाइम में जाने का। आज जब आप 50,000 करोड़ 70,000 करोड़ रुपए इन ब्रॉडकास्टर्स डील के देते हो, तो आप कम से कम इतना तो एक्सपेक्ट करोगे कि मुझे प्राइम टाइम मिल सके अपनी ऑडियंस को केटर करने के लिए। बहुत सारे वर्ल्ड कप्स हाल फिलहाल के समय में सिर्फ टाइम की वजह से, T20 वर्ल्ड कप 2024, 2015 वर्ल्ड कप ऑस्ट्रेलिया, 2019 इंग्लैंड, चलो हमारे टाइम के हिसाब से मैच कर जाता है, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कप जो आप सब कॉन्टिनेंट से बाहर लेकर जाते हो, उसमें टाइमिंग का बहुत इशू होता है। और आप किसी से भी पूछेंगे, देवाशीष दा थे T20 वर्ल्ड कप 2024 में, वो एक नाइटमेयर था ब्रॉडकास्टर्स के लिए, मीडिया के लिए, किसी के लिए भी, अगर आपका ऑडियंस इंडिया में है और आप जाकर अमेरिका से कवरेज दे रहे हो तो इट वाज अ नाइटमेयर। वहां सुबह हो रही है, यहाँ रात हो रही है, यहाँ रात हो रही है, वहां सुबह हो रही है, और सिमिलर विद वेस्ट इंडीज ऑल्सो। तो घुमा फिरा के बस ये जो सब कॉन्टिनेंट के अराउंड जो मैचेस होते हैं और यहाँ पर जो टाइम स्पैन आपको मिलता है, उसी को आप केटर कर सकते हो, और उसमें आप एडजस्टमेंट्स नहीं करोगे। आप कर क्या सकते हो, जैसे शुभानंदा ने बोला, आप टेक्निकली काफी चीजों को इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हो। मुझे एक चीज और याद आती है जो 2022-23 में बहुत यूज की गई थी आईपीएल के दौरान, एक आपसा स्प्रे कर कर आता है, एपीएसए स्प्रे, एपीएसए 80 कहते हैं उसे। वो जैसे ही मतलब वो डाल दिया जाता है, आपके ग्राउंड पे डाल दिया जाता है, वो ड्यू गिरने से तो नहीं रोक सकता, लेकिन ड्यू को रहने से जरूर रोकता है। ड्यू ग्रास पे टिकती नहीं है उससे, उसका असर नहीं होता है उस पर। तो अल्टीमेटली क्या होगा, आपका बॉल चेंज, आपका आपका बॉल गीला नहीं होगा। द सेकेंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, जो आईपीएल में आपने पिछले साल से रूल आता हुआ देखा है कि 11वें ओवर के बाद सेकेंड इनिंग्स में आपकी बॉलिंग टीम ये फैसला कर सकती है कि क्या उन्हें गेंद चेंज करना है या नहीं करना है। लास्ट टाइम आईपीएल में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मैच था, दिल्ली वर्सेस मुंबई। रोहित शर्मा डगआउट पे बैठे हुए थे, उन्होंने हार्दिक पांड्या को इशारा किया या टीम को इशारा किया कि ये सही टाइम है, बॉल चेंज कर दो। कर्ण शर्मा बॉल लेकर आते हैं, करुण नायर को आउट कर देते हैं, गेम घूम जाता है, मुंबई वो मुकाबला जीत जाती है। तो सिर्फ जरूरी नहीं है कि हमको सिर्फ गेम के टाइमिंग्स को ही जो है वो मतलब, और आप 11:30-12 बजे लेकर आओगे उसका भी कोई फायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि अब अगर आप नॉर्थ इंडिया में फिर मैचेस कराओगे तो आपको पता है 9-10 बजे तो फॉग ही क्लियर होना शुरू होता है, आजकल स्मॉग की समस्या अलग है। तो फिर आपको ये भी सोचना पड़ेगा कि अगर हम 9:30-10 बजे या 11 बजे मैच स्टार्ट करवा रहे हैं, तो फिर क्या हमें सिर्फ साउथ इंडिया को ही सारे के सारे मैचेस देने पड़ेंगे? वो भी फिर आपको सोचना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि नॉर्थ इंडिया में तो उस समय पर मौसम ही ऐसा नहीं रहता है, और मोस्टली मैचेस हम जो ओडीआईस खेलते हैं वो इसी फेज में खेलते हैं, ये अक्टूबर, नवंबर, दिसंबर, जैन, इस पे ऊपर वाला टाइम जो स्टार्ट ऑफ द ईयर है, वो तो हमारा मोस्टली आईपीएल में ही जाता है, 2-2.5 साल की विंडो। हर साल आपका एक ना एक वर्ल्ड कप होता ही है, फिर डब्ल्यूटीसी आपका हर 2 साल में आ जाता है। तो मेरे हिसाब से जो आप कर सकते हो वो बाकी ट्वीक्स कर सकते हो, कि क्या आप बॉल चेंज का वो रूल लेकर आ सकते हो कि जब कप्तान को लगे, जैसे कल मेरे हिसाब से 6 बार बॉल चेंज हुआ, 6 बार इंडिया की तरफ से कंप्लेन गई है। बॉल चेंज कितनी बार हुआ आई रियली डोंट नो, लेकिन हाँ 6 बार इंडिया की तरफ से, 5-6 बार इंडिया की तरफ से कंप्लेन गई है। तो बीट ये हम जो कह रहे हैं कि मल्टीपल टाइम्स आप बॉल चेंज करना, यस प्लेयर्स की प्रिपरेशन पे भी देखो, अल्टीमेटली जब रूल चेंज नहीं होगा तो हम यही बोलेंगे कि एक्सक्यूजेस आर फॉर लूजर्स एंड एफर्ट्स आर फॉर विनर्स, जो हमें बचपन से पढ़ाया गया है कि भाई एक्सक्यूज मत दो, आपको तो जीतना ही पड़ेगा। क्योंकि 15-20 साल से, जैसा शमिक दा ने कहा, 92 से डे नाइट क्रिकेट हो रही, 92 में पहली बार जो है वो डे नाइट क्रिकेट शुरू हुई थी, तो तब से लेकर अब तक 30-35 साल हो चुके हैं। और अगर आपको इन सारी चीजों के बीच ही क्रिकेट खेलनी है तो आपको ही बताना पड़ेगा। मुझे याद है 2018-19 में टीम इंडिया जब साउथ अफ्रीका में हार कर आई थी, एक मैच हारे थे हम, सीरीज नहीं हारे थे। तो उस सीरीज में जाने से पहले ये लोगों ने हैदराबाद वाइजैग में प्रैक्टिस करी थी, और ये लोग ने वहां पे बाल्टी रखी हुई थी, बाल्टी में पानी डाल के रखा हुआ था, एंड दे यूज टू कि बॉल को गीला करेंगे और उसके बाद गेंद बॉलिंग करेंगे, कि जो फुला हुआ बॉल होता है उससे क्या आपको डिफरेंट फील हो रहा है, ग्रिप कैसे बदल रहा है, क्या आप क्रॉस सीम बॉल डाल सकते हो वहां पर, वो आपके लिए ज्यादा फायदेमंद होगा, या और क्या क्या स्टेप्स आप उठा सकते हो। ये सारी चीजें फिर आपके प्लेयर्स को भी इवॉल्व करनी पड़ेगी अगर नियम चेंज नहीं हुआ तो। मतलब कोई ऐसा नया नियम नहीं आया तो टाइम रिड्यूस, तो जैसा शमिक दा ने कहा बिल्कुल सही बात है, शायद ब्रॉडकास्टर्स आपको करने भी नहीं देंगे, बट बाकी और बहुत सारी चीजें जो आप कर सकते हो इस डे एंड एज में करनी।
But there's someone here who's saying, freaking awesome is saying, India haven't played any day ODI at home for the last 10 years. Last time we had played a day ODI at home against South Africa at Kanpur in 2015, there was a considerable dip in numbers after 2007. Where do you stand on this topic, Bharat?
Yeah, just to start with, I just came now to Isaac, so it's only 15-20 minutes ago I came to this place. Hopefully, the third one-day match will turn out to be a great one. Coming back to the question, see, I understand from broadcasters' point of view why they are not looking at why they are not looking at day matches, because you want to maximize the viewers, you want to maximize the viewership. But having said that, it's completely unfair on the bowlers that if you host matches like in Raipur, because what I saw was the ball was changed 4 times. It was changed not more than 4 times, and that is a lot of times that you end up changing a ball. I don't think I have seen that in one-day cricket, at least in one-day cricket, for a long time. I've seen that in test crickets where the Duke's ball gets changed 3-4 times, but in one-day cricket in one innings, I don't think I've seen it at least for the last 25 years. That tells you the kind of due that was there yesterday when India bowled. You could see it when the Indian pacers were bowling. Some of them were slipping out. It turned out to be a beamer once. A few times it seemed like it was slipping down leg side. When they tried to bowl a Yorker, it turned out to be a full toss. That are all indicators that the pace bowlers were really struggling with the due. Even the spinners definitely were struggling because they were not getting any grip at all. These conditions are grossly unfair on the bowlers. But having said that, this is something that I don't think will change because, as you know, because the broadcasters want to maximize the viewership. and it will continue that way. But again, I tell the kind of conditions that you saw yesterday were completely unfair on the bowlers. First of all, in the first innings itself, it seemed like a motorway, and in the second innings, it seemed like an IndyCar racing motorway that you get in USA. That is how it felt when the poor Indian bowlers were falling out there.
Devashish, a lot of people here are saying that, we're bringing up this debate to save the selectors or defend the management or something like that. But can you explain your stance while also clarifying that that's not the case here? In fact, this is a valid argument to have here.
It is a matter that the BCCI needs to sit down with the broadcasters. See, amicably, that the solution can be found out by perhaps starting the match a little bit earlier. So when you can start the match from 2:30 to 1:30 to 1 p.m., why not start a little bit earlier? Maybe a 12 p.m. start. So it can be a day-night match, but that the factor of due factor may be countered. Means if you can, the 80% of the match can be played by the time the due comes into effect. So that can be one realistic possibility by way of the broadcasters having a this discussion with BCCI. It's particularly talking about venues where due might play a major factor. Means yesterday it was pure advantage to South Africa once they won the toss. So this can be, I don't know whether it will eventually be happening, but obviously it was an eye-opener yesterday's match. Means 358, how on earth means you end up losing the game. So that could be a possibility. Instead of a 1:30 p.m., why not start an hour earlier? So as to that maximum time will, means obviously by the time the due comes in, 90%, 80%, 90% match will be done.
Shubhayan, Anit Sadhu is saying in Dharamshala there will be T20 matches. There will be the T20I match. There will be due, apply logic. Mute.
There will be dew in most of the part at this time of the year. You can't help it, and winters dew. It is pretty natural. You can't change that. And those who are saying that we are trying to save the selectors or the team management, I collected this data about this Toro Super Pro Max in Ranchi when the team won there. So there's nothing. This is just a bit of homework that we do behind the scenes, and this is nothing related to Ajit Agarkar, Gautam Gambhir, or KL Rahul, or whoever the team is, the team management is. But see, Dharamshala, you have to Dharamshala, Mullapur, Lucknow, Kolkata, wherever you go, there you will find dew at this year, at this point of the year, and that is where I said about the equipment. Improve the equipment. 40 to 45 lakh is nothing for a state association, especially when you are going to host a match, international match. And even if there is no international national match, every state association is hosting, is conducting their own respective state T20 leagues, and the matches happen uh, pretty much in the evening time. So you can use the equipment at that point as well. And as Shamikda also said, that Raipur had that from the machine from Nagpur. So why can't other state associations get into a agreement, and if they are hosting matches, then they can also rent that particular machine in the build up, in the preparation stage of a particular international match. So I think that is the best solution. The suggestion which Rohit gave, that why can't we bring a similar rule in ODIs like we do in IPL, then we have to again go to the MCC, uh, change the entire rule, and just because of Indian conditions or Pakistani conditions, to change the entire system. I think that is something I don't think the ICC and the MCC will want to do in regards to Australia, England, South Africa. In these countries also you will have that rule in effect. So I don't think that will come into play. The best possible solution is to improve the equipment, improve the infrastructure. We keep on saying that we are the richest board in the world. State associations get paid pretty decently, as far as I know. So 40-45 lakh, the major organizations, CAB, MCA, Maharashtra, Sub, Ahmedabad, up north, Mullapur, Delhi. Dharamshala does not host that number of matches, but they can, have an agreement with the Punjab Cricket Association or the DDCA to, get those equipments right in time. To prepare for a match. For similarly, for the entire north belt can work in tandem. The entire west belt can work in tandem. Have two machines interchange among yourselves, and try to negate this due factor. That is the best possible solution that one can do. But for that also, you need to plan in advance. You need to prepare in advance, and I don't think all the state associations in India plan things that much in advance. It is all happens as a last minute agreement, last minute adjustments just before the match, and that is something I think that is a cultural thing that needs to be changed going forward. That Raipur, Ranchi, Vishakhapatnam, they knew they will be hosting an ODI series well in advance, 6 months, 1 year into advance. So why can't they have an agreement with certain associations and try to bring equipments before, not just 1 day before the match or 2 day before the match, but in the entire build up, so that you can have that spraying system well in advance, 1 week into the match. Spray it regularly so that the dew does not play a heavy role when the match day arrives. So that is the best possible solution according to me. But again, venue wise, you have to have that rotation. Winters, wherever you go, as I said earlier also, wherever you go at this point in the year, you will find dew. Now, even in Vishakhapatnam, I'm sure Bharat will report that for tomorrow, but there will be a dew factor in Vishakhapatnam as well for the match day after tomorrow.
Gargi, just to add a point in this, I just want to say that when he's saying that apply logic in Dharamshala in winters around 6:30, 7:30, 8, it will be due for both the teams. It
Yes.
wasn't there for only one team. So it's similar for both the teams. What we are discussing, it's not only about that the ball is out of shape or it's difficult for the bowlers. It's basically the conditions for both the teams. If the conditions remain similar for both the teams, then we don't have any problem. If both the teams are playing, and means what happens in football, like you play in snow, you play in rain, you play in any kind of condition, because it's similar for both the teams. And if dew is similar for both the teams, then there is not a problem. When in IPL, why it's given to the second, why it's the rule is introduced in the second innings, because that's the summer part in the country. And in summer part, yes, the dew or means when it actually arrives, it arrives somewhere around 9:30, 10. But in winters, it arrives earlier. And as far as Dharamshala is concerned, you'll be easily see it around 8 p.m., 7:30, 8 p.m. So I think that's the logic behind that if it is for both the teams, then there's not much debate. But if it's not for both the teams, then the debate part is there, that why it's easier for a single team and then difficult for a team bowling second.
Before I go to Shomik, Bharat, a lot of people are asking if the Indian team has reached Vizag or not.
See, I just came a few minutes ago, about 10, 15, 20 minutes ago, just before the live show. But I saw some of them waiting outside the airport. There's an indicator that the players could be coming. And also commentators, definitely, a couple of commentators I came out. So that's an indicator again that the team is around here. So I think they have come.
All right. Shomik, there's a comment here by Shubham Vashisht. He's saying, guys, please call out these players. Except we don't have good players. We have overhyped players because of the IPL. I think Shomik's screen is... He's...
Yeah.
he's
Am I audible, Gargi? We have been calling out the players. We have been calling out the team management. Today, I have written a piece how India have bunked their preparation for the second ODI in Raipur. The 1 day before the match, it was an optional practice session, and only one bowler turned up. Only one fast bowler turned up, Harshit Rana. Yes, the turnaround time was just 2 days. Fine, but it was not a test match. And the spinners also, Kuldeep was not there. Jadeja and Washington Sundar, they mostly batted. So basically, if the bowlers would have come, they would have had a feel of the conditions. Raipur is not a familiar venue. So it is not like Chepak or Wankhede or Kotla or Eden Gardens. It is like, I mean, there you have familiarity with the venue. Raipur is not. Raipur doesn't host international matches very frequently. After 2023, they were hosting their own only their second ODI. So if the bowlers would have come a day before the match, they could have had a feel of the entire conditions. They didn't do that, and we have called that out. We have clearly called that out, saying that India missed a preparation trick. India completely missed a preparation take. And once again, regarding this thing, regarding the advancement of the match, I mean, the start time, advancement of the start time, it is not happening in the sense. Once the fact of the matter is that yes, the bowlers or the batsmen, whoever they are, they will have to adjust. They will have to adjust, and like the way they have been doing it for the previous 30 years. It is not just India lost that last game. That is why it is happening. The fact is that, I mean, in that in that conditions also, her Arshdeep Singh went under 6 runs per over in his 10 overs. Right, he went under 6 runs per over. Yes, spinners were out of the game to an extent because of the dew factor. And he went. Arshdeep took 2 wickets. He conceded less than 6 runs per over. Harshit Rana also in such a high scoring game. He was okay. 7 runs per over, 1 wicket. Prashit Krishna, as is his own, he lick runs, and he does that for fun. He always does that. Now we are calling out selection committee in that is Mohammad Shami even worse? Pray tell us, is Mohammad Shami even worse? This guy, Prashit Krishna, whenever he bowls, I mean, he never inspire confidence. Yes, he took 2 wickets. He continued to pound the ball on the deck, and when he bowled a full delivery, he dismissed Britzka. So what was that? I mean, your tactical part also went awry. Everything combined. I mean, we are calling out the team management also. We are calling out the players also.
We absolutely are, and we've never shied away from criticizing when criticism is needed. So, final couple of questions on the show here. Dikshita has sent us a super chat. No power hitters between 5 to 8, last 10 overs, 70 runs. Uh, Debashish, we spoke about this yesterday as well. A lot of people were of the opinion that India were 15 to 20 runs short, that after that, Ruturaj and Virat Kohli partnership, there should have been more runs added to the scoreboard. What are your thoughts? Where do you stand on
Yeah,
this?
I agree to some extent, especially the knock by Jadeja. Yes, it was definitely not with the pace that the previous players set, and especially the innings that Virat Kohli and even KL Rahul looked good. But obviously Jadeja was uncharacteristic, I would say, with the way he played. But definitely India were definitely 15 to 20 runs short. Yes, 358 could have been 370 given the way India started the innings and kept the momentum throughout the innings until that period when Jadeja walked in. So I think yes, I somehow agree with his views. India were at least 15 to 20 runs short. They could have, and remember, South Africa were also very wary. They were erratic. They bowled too many white balls, not too many boundary balls. But then, so yes, India were definitely few runs short.
Okay, Rohit, I'm confused between two comments here, but they are
Yeah,
along the same lines of a lot of
sure.
people blaming Virat Kohli for the loss, saying that his strike rate was a little too slow, that he should now, give way to youngsters in the team. But numbers say otherwise, don't they? Back to back centuries, he's running faster than most of the youngsters in the team. His innings was built on a lot of singles and doubles, which is what the conditions required yesterday. But your thoughts on this?
No, I just want to ask whoever is questioning Virat Kohli's innings that tell me the strike rate of Aiden Markram's inning. Tell me the strike rate of Temba Bauma's inning. It was all around 109, 110. It was not a 150 kind of strike rate or strike rate kind of innings. Where South Africa completely changed the game, it's the finishers. We were questioning that. As Dikshita, I hardly agree with her as going by her username. I hardly agree, but this time around, and it's not five, it's just 6 and 7. If you are going with a KL Rahul, and KL Rahul, if striking with a strike, he's striking with 150 plus, then I don't think there's a problem as far as KL Rahul is concerned. It's what you are doing with Ravindra Jadeja, playing 28 deliveries, scoring 27 runs, I think somewhere like that, and Washington Sundar playing 8 balls and scoring 1 run. So you are scoring 35 runs in 25 balls, and 35 balls and 25 runs is what you are scoring in the very last stage of the innings. Last 10 overs, 74 runs. So that's where the problem rises. It's not with Virat Kohli, and then with the kind of fielding we are doing, and it's not only about one format, and it's not the fault of T Dilip also, because we all have seen him doing really hard with this Indian cricket team. But Yashasvi Jaiswal, if you see him, I remember he dropped the catch of Manas Labuschagne in Melbourne. I remember him dropping a catch in Headingley, and that was a very big turning point. And now this game also, Markram was somewhere around 53 when he dropped him, and he scored, I think, around 50 plus runs more after that also. So I think, and the sloppy work by all the fielders, include a Ravindra Jadeja into it. We are not questioning Ravindra Jadeja because it's one off, and we all know that what Ravindra Jadeja can contribute. But the fielding of this Indian cricket team, the bowling, as Shamikda rightly pointed out, who is your wicket taker? Yeah, in ODI cricket, if you just point out, if you just take out a Jasprit Bumrah, Ashdeep is very new and inexperienced. Clearly was evident there. Same goes with Harshit Rana. Last game he delivered really well, but this game around, first over 3 or 4 boundaries continue. And then Prasidh Krishna, I don't want to add anything on what Shamikda said. He said a lot about him, and my only request to him is do everything, but don't try to bowl short ball. My only request to Prasidh Krishna. So and then you have a Washington Sundar and a Ravindra Jadeja in a wicket where the wickets were not assisting the spinners. So who is your wicket taker? First game, as Shubhanda earlier said, that it was Kuldeep Yadav on that very over that he picked up 2 wickets, and we win that one in Ranchi. Otherwise, it was 0-2 for us in this ODI series also. So who's the wicket taker for us? And if you are adding Washington Sundar into your squad, then you are giving him only 7 overs in 2 ODIs, 4 overs in last game, 3 overs in the previous game. So 7 overs in 2 games, and then you are trying to promote him as a batter. I don't have any problem, but as a batter, I think Akshar Patel have more potential. As a bowler, yes, you can draw a parallel that even Akshar Patel is also diminishing as far as the bowler Akshar Patel is concerned, and his batting went really up. His batting is really good in last 4 or 5 years, starting from West Indies T20 World Cup, Sri Lanka series, Asia Cup. There were multiple examples where you can say that Akshar Patel can play a really handy innings as far as middle order is concerned. So Gargi, there are multiple problems in this team at this point of time. Who all are discussing Virat Kohli's 100 was a slow 100, or that was the point. They have to see that how South Africans pace their innings, what their top order did in an easier condition compared to an easier condition. Listen to the mid innings interview of Ruturaj Gaikwad, and you will know that how the wicket has completely changed from what it was at the very start, then towards that 20, 30, 40 over mark, and then just after the second inning started. So people needs to understand.
I'll throw the final question to you, Shubhayan. A lot of people also asking about. Yes, Shomik.
Gargi, Rohit just took words from my mouth. I have a question to everyone, Shubha and you, Debashish, Rohit. Give me one good reason. Why is Washington Sundar playing at number 8? What does he bring to the table? Simple question.
That was my question to Shubhayan.
Left-hander. He's a left-hander.
Shubhayan, you take this.
Shamikda, at this point of time, I think if I am a left-hander and maybe
Yes.
maybe
You will
team
also
management मे बी टीम मैनेजमेंट अगर मुझे देखती बैटिंग करते हुए कहीं पे, तो शायद वो इंटरेस्टेड हो जाते कि चलो आपको भी ले चलते हैं.
and but the experiments have been falling flat on its face. Nitish Reddy experiment has fallen flat on its face. Test, he probably has already played his last test for India, and he is now out from the T20I squad also. Now there, some people are trying to put forward the logic that as because Hardik Pandya is back, that's why he is out. It is not. There have been instances when Hardik Pandya and Nitish Kumar Reddy have played together. He has fallen off the cliff. That experiment has
In that
fallen flat
Bangladesh
on.
series only. In that Bangladesh series
Exactly.
also last year.
Exactly. So that experiment has fallen flat on the face. And the way this team management is treating Washington Sundar in test and in now in white ball cricket also, test batting from number 3 to number 9 and trying to make him a super off spinner, stuff like that. Irfan Pathan comes to my mind. Irfan Pathan, Greg Chappell's experiment with Irfan Pathan comes to my mind.
Shubhayan, final word. Washington Sundar in the team.
Gargi, I think we have too many similar type of players in the setup. Be it Ravindra Jadeja, be it Akshar Patel, be it Washington Sundar. They are not your attacking wicket takers. Plus, their hitting ability is limited, very limited. Uh, Akshar Patel is a good spin basher, no doubt about it. But overall, if you talk about overall hitting ability, then I think all three players, Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, Ravindra Jadeja, they all three are limited players of power hitter. They are not power hitters, they are limited hitters of the ball. So I think that way the selection committee or whoever is taking the call to name these players or put forward these players, ODI cricket, Washington Sundar, 2027 World Cup, I don't know how many spinners you will carry for that tournament, given it is in South Africa. I'm pretty sure about the fact that three pacers will probably play, plus your Hardik Pandya, and one spinner in Kuldeep Yadav, maybe one all rounder, six bowling options. Now the thing is, you are looking for bits and pieces cricketers, utility cricketers who can give you a few overs with the ball, who can bat flexibly up in the order. That is why we have not seen the name of Rinku Singh in the T20 squad as well, because of the sheer weightage of right now the all rounders are carrying. So that is why Rinku Singh is also out of the setup, and the thing is, if you drop a Washington Sundar and play a specialist batter, you will be limited to five bowling options in ODI cricket, and that is something which right now does not work. You don't have an Aiden Markram type of a player who can give you 6-7 overs if need be, 4-5 overs in every game, and decent over. It's not like he goes for 12-15 runs an over. He gives you decent tight overs. Either you use Washington Sundar to the best of his ability, bowl him in the power play, use him as your defensive option, and use him before the due starts to come into play. Yesterday, what complaints I had with KL Rahul, that he did not use his spinners before the due came into play. As soon as the ball went wet, your spinners were out of the game. So KL Rahul had the time to stop one of the pacers and use a couple of spinners from both the ends. Ravindra Jadeja finishes his over in 1 minute. Washington Sundar maybe 2 minutes. You could have used them in tandem for at least 6-7 overs more when before the due came into play. So everything has to come into sync. I am not pointing too many fingers on KL Rahul, because he's a stand-in captain, but being an experienced campaigner, I expect a bit better from KL Rahul at this stage of his career. But see, Washington Sundar, I'm not blaming, like Shamikda also said about Nitish Kumar Reddy. They are not being used to the best of their ability. Nitish Kumar Reddy, yes, you can drop him, but him batting at number 9, bowling 4-5 overs and innings, it does not help the team as well, and it does not help the player that is playing in the 11. So it is harming both of the setups. When Nitish Kumar Reddy was reverse scooping Scott Boland in Melbourne or in Adelaide, everyone, this is the same panel or same viewers who are watching right now who are praising Nitish Kumar Reddy. Right now we are terming him bits and pieces because he has not been used to the best of his abilities by the team management. Uh, so I think you have to use Washington Sundar. he's your top five batter. He should not bat lower. He does not have that hitting ability. Ravindra Jadeja, same. He can't bat at number seven for you. He does not have that hitting ability. Akshar Patel, you can use him as the floater if you want, but again, if he comes at seven or eight, you will again struggle. You will see him struggle against good pacers bowling in death over. So it is right now selection committee, team management, with whatever players they are picking, they are not using them to the best of the abilities, what I feel. Or rather, go for players who are suited for that role. Hardik Pandya will solve a lot of problems in this ODI setup once he's back after the IPL in ODI scheme of things. But you can't be, you never know when he gets injured, or what happened in the Asia Cup as well. You never know when he's injured and when he's not playing your key matches in the World Cup. So going forward, you still have a couple of years of time. I know the selectors or the team management is not giving something out concrete in terms of Virat and Rohit's future. They keep on saying we have 2 years of time. Right now it's the best time. 2 years, so you have 2 years of time. Pick 3 4 players suited to that 7 to 9, 6 to 9 or 7 to 9, whatever that number batting position is, and ensure that they are bowling regularly, they are batting regularly in that batting position. It could not be like whenever they go to their state associations they are batting at top three, and whenever they are back for their international team they are batting at number seven or eight. That can't happen. That will not help your player polish up the skills that they require for the national team. So yeah, there are a few problems, but since we have a couple of years of time, I think things will start to take shape. Or the selection committee or the team management should enforce this what I said, that these players should play in the role given for the national team, for the state team as well. IPL team, I know the franchisee takes the call, so I'm not putting that, but in domestic cricket they should play in that particular role that they are allotted in the national setup.
Very fair points brought up by Shubhayan there, especially when it comes to that Hardik Pandya conundrum. How do you fill that void that Hardik Pandya leaves behind every time he gets injured?
No one is
Whether
there. There is no Hardik Pandya replacement. Even in the current under 19 setup, you don't have a pace bowling all rounder capable of bowling 130 plus and batting with a strike rate of 200 250. You don't have a player.
Exactly. And going forward, whether or not India can salvage this series is something we will have to wait and watch. When it comes to the debate of whether or not ODI games should go back to being day games, is a debate we'll keep having. But thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Shamik, Debashish, Shubayan, Bharat, and Rohit as well. And to everyone who interacts with us, keep sharing, keep liking, and keep commenting and interacting with us. We will be back very soon. Don't forget to like, share,